One of the reasons we see it banned against him by the side of PSG. I do think in his hands, this Victor can be deadly. Xun is very comfortable playing this Jinx. So they have a lot of power. They have both magic damage and physical. So it's a lot of tools to work with in the late game 5v5s. The question is, how well will they get there? And how, in what shape will they be? Because PSG definitely took them apart in that last game. And we will be seeing if CFO could find answers here to make this one more of a series. Or will it be PSG moving on ahead 2-0 on match point early again? We've had so many sweeps in the PCS playoffs, Clement. You have to think at this level, there wouldn't be another.
Yeah, I hopefully we're not going to see the upper bracket just be dominated by, what is it, 4 3-0s right now. That gets a bit stale, especially going into the final week of the playoffs here.
Makes VOD review easy, though.
That's kind of true. Like, just one side dunking on the other team just through winning all of their lanes. I'm going to be taking a look at most of these setups right here, and what CFO have got for themselves is what I call the staggered draft. They want the Renekton power spike to make sure they get to that late game where they have the Victor and the Jinx out competing against their opponents, and Renekton can kind of fall off and just be a meatball afterwards. So that's kind of the idea with the draft, but the way you have to utilize it is you actually need this Renekton to stop Juhan and Bei. So the Renekton actually needs to leave his own lane and look to make sure to contain Juhan and LeBlanc from roaming too much. We'll see how they manage to accomplish that. And meanwhile, if you look at the bottom side, CFO's bottom lane, not a lot of combat stats. This is purely for waiting for a gank. So it's very clear to me that CFO are most likely going to be roaming Gemini bot lane nonstop and try to see if they can catch out Unified and Kaiwing, especially with this glacial augment here from Koala.
Yeah, Gemini's going to be a busy boy. We'll have to see how the game goes. And already opening up, we have seen that Unified and Kaiwing just looked a little stronger than the rookie Xun paired up with Koala. More time to build that synergy, of course. Also want to keep an eye on the mid lane, as Bei has shown quite a lot of prowess on this LeBlanc, but it's always dangerous to try and push early into a victory. Goes in, lands the chains. Going to go out before that completes, and actually forces the clone out. Nicely done by Mission.
Yeah, really well done here by Mission. Uses the early Q trade to get the extra shield on. I like the walk back onto Bei, and Bei knows that, oh, wait a minute, I actually don't want to get stuck here against the Victor, and distorts back early just to save some extra HP. So this has been really nicely done from Mission, and I think it will cut down on this LeBlanc pick quite a bit here. It's going to force an early back for sure. And now we have that 4-camp Gemini gank that we were talking about.
Perfect timing on the ward, though. I think Unified and Kaiwing have their game senses a tingling, but can they still get out? Here comes Gemini, Sirens on. They do get the catch into the hook, and, well, Unified should be able to get out. Gemini taking a lot of damage. That's first blood. It goes to the Jinx, though, and it couldn't be a better target to land on than Xun.
Really nicely done. They naturally have to push in this matchup with the Jinx here, and also the jungle pathing from Gemini was pretty difficult to predict. They get the 4-camp 3-3 versus 2-2 setup, and they're also going to born more.
Oh man, I think Unified did an oopsie here. Xun's running out of mana though, but the Flash has found another kill, and even Kaiwing's under threat right now. As Xun gets excited, it's a 2-for-1 deal on bot side.
That was massive from Koala. Not only does he get the kill, he also gets the double sums as well from Unified. Just very rare to see Unified make a mistake at that level, and that's just going to open up Gemini for that level 6 gank. Once again, if you have a pushing wave and you have a volley bear, you just Stormbringer that tower and you drop the depth charge. You flash in depth charge, easy kill.
This is already going to be a very different game than game one. CFO have a massive edge down bot right now. Instantly, Noon Quiver buys the boots and into a dagger as well. What an edge they can play through, as we will expect to see the big bear down bottom quite a few more times. And Rest can certainly breathe easy. I think his job's going to be a little easier this game.
Massive props to Koala there. Finding 2 dredge lines into 2 kills.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, I don't think PSG really expected that to happen. They were thinking that, oh, I dropped the ward early, I can back out if need be, I can play super safe, but they're not able to get away from Koala. Koala just catches them out once again here, and this is going to change a lot of the calculus. I feel like what PSG need to make happen is they need Bei on this level 6 to roam bot lane and at least get a kill to equalize and at least make sure LeBlanc is somewhat useful this game.
Yeah, this is why the Nautilus is so heavily contested in the PCS, right? Our supports do ridiculous things. They really stretch those dredge lines. Juhan comes in for some counter jungling. This is spotted by Koala, as they're just going to try and keep Gemini down for a little bit. I don't think he can really do too much about it, but he is roaming through. This is going to be spotted as he just clears through the chickens. Kaiwing's at his back, as without Koala there, it's just kind of a straight-up 1v1 of the 280 carries.
Oof, and unfortunately for PSG, they don't manage to hang on to any of the wards in the bottom side right here. Let's see if Gemini does find out about the pink, but that was what PSG wanted to establish. They wanted to make sure that they had a clear way to roam into the bottom side, because Bay popping in from behind you is still very, very deadly for a pushing bot lane like Shun and Koala. They're not able to get that one down just yet, and that does mean PSG will need a repeated attempt just to make that one work.
Okay, ooh, Bay is going to be out just in time before he gets sandwiched between Mission and Gemini. Level 6 is starting to ding here, but the Volibear doesn't have his quite yet. Going to be roaming into PSG jungle and finds pink ward of his own. That does mean the dive round 2 is spotted, but with the map position they have and what Volibear can do here, even at level 5, this does start off the Hex Tech, Drake.
Yeah, and a couple things to note right here is that CFO also have a teleport advantage in the top lane. Rest is hanging on to that advantage right there, so this is incredibly safe. PSG, they're down behind the bot, they're down to teleport, they're definitely not going to contest this one. There you do see the TP coming out from Rest, getting directly back to most likely as Gore Drinker in that matchup, so things still going very well, and I really want to see how close Gemini is to this level 6. If he can get this level 6 just off the blue buff EXP share and the Krugs, then that bot lane is in a heap of trouble.
Yeah, Mission, he'll be the one getting that with the Death Laser firing down. I think Gemini still not quite level 6 here, so a little bit behind in the EXP, but he's going to try to pick up somewhere as Koala steps right into the brush. Doesn't actually spy that pink warder, not in time to be able to clear it away at least. Bay's going in for the 1v2 because Juhan's coming in at his backup, and Koala gets deleted down by the Lee Sin.
Oh, the very weird play from Koala. Like, he had full vision of Juhan, but he still just walked straight through like that. I've got to say, that was completely careless. And to hand over a kill to LeBlanc Lee Sin, you can't do that. There was no reason for Koala to take the route that he did. And if you look at the map, he actually had full vision in full knowledge of where Juhan and Bay was. So once again, CFO just showcasing a lot of unforced errors in this series.
Yeah, Koala giveth and taketh away, it seems, so far. So great hooks, but positional awareness needs a little bit of work here. Goes right back down to the bottom side. Let's take a look at that replay again. He does split off for the team. He actually dredge lines into the brush. I think he thought Bay was there or something.
That was just the freebie coming in for Bay. I guess thank you, brother Koala. I have no idea what you were doing there. I mean, it was just so inexplicable. You saw Juhan was just standing right on top of a ward. He didn't even pop his scryer right there. So just flat out mistake coming in from Koala, but definitely going to be a very costly one. And it does slow him down from that depth charge as well. Not what you want to see. Well, let's see if they can at least get Gemini in position for potentially another gank or clear out most of PSG wards. This is really well done by Koala this time, though, as he does prevent any of these. We call it the Silk Road in the LPL, just the track behind the red buff from being warded up. So Koala, at the very least, he's keeping that route shut down for PSG for those flanks coming in from Bay.
Yeah, Mission's going to be able to hold on here. Kaiwing actually does wait out in the brushes, but they do know that the support player is missing on the map right now, so it seems pretty likely they get the ping out and know exactly what's going down. Still hanging on to this gold lead and the Dragon Edge at about 9 minutes into the game, but the game state hasn't changed too much here. Gemini does have 6 now, opens up the opportunity to go places, but I think they might be eyeballing this Herald play first, but it's not very safe, as Juhan is here with the level advantage.
And the most important thing in this Herald play is that Mission cannot leave his lane. He cannot face check against the LeBlanc and give a double chain over. So they will have to play this one very, very safe. And I like this trade from PSG. They're actually sneaking down into the bot side for a 4v2 and making it super costly for CFO. They don't have any TPs on their solo laners, and now they have to drop back into their own tower.
Yeah, this is dangerous. Juhan waiting around the side. Kaiwing cleared away. This is just sniffed out, though, for the time being. It will be the Herald, and they don't really find an answer. PSG, nice try on that one, but they're just going to get counter jungle instead.
Yeah, I love the patience from CFO. You can see they actually disengage from the top lane, bait PSG in bot lane a little bit more. They drop the pink, they spot it out. They back out to a very comfortable distance, again, because they have double sums on Shin, and then they go back and take the Herald. Now CFO, though, mission...
Flash kick into the queue, following through, and the Chaos Storm is still going to return the kill. Mission with the outplay.
Oh my lord. Mission is the faker of the PCS. What a great play coming in from him.
Hey man, Kaiwing said it, it's true. Oh boy. Man, looking more like Mission Impossible for Juhan. I mean, you did everything right as Elise in there, and you still got outplayed.
Yeah, the kick angle was a little bit off if I have to be completely nitpicky. Did put himself
okay, I mean,
in
that's
tower
fair,
range.
that's fair.
Yeah, but the build for Mission was just too good. He didn't get locked down by the chains there, was able to flash out from the tether anyway, and there's not much Bay could do, because it was just too many tower shots that Juhan did end up taking right there. Great play from that end, and this LeBlanc Lee Sin, this is what I was talking about. I feel like if CFO ever make it about a tempo matchup in the mid jungle, they just automatically win, because in my eyes, their mid jungle is actually just kind of mechanically better.
Yeah, they certainly are proving it, at least in some of these skirmish situations. Now the dive being set up again on bot, and Unified and Kaiwing, they're gonna remember what happened some levels ago and start to back it out. They bring in Juhan to the party now, and it will be a 3v3, but the Herald is popped down in the bottom side, so they'll just settle for taking the tower. This is full plate complete for Shun. He gets excited, does take a tower shot unnecessarily, and I think they realize this is getting a little bit too hot, and they're not going to go for the full push.
Yeah, I don't think CFO have to push things right now. They have a free back into a mythic item advantage over Unified. I assume that Shun is going to have the gold for it anyway. So,
good hook! Into the root, the follow-up, both LeBlancs. Bay is able to just barely get away, but he is forced to burn.
Oh, super mega death
well,
rocket!
Not a whole lot, actually. Oh, it was a nice try.
Really good find coming in from Shun. I'm surprised by Bay distorting back that early. I mean, that was a bit of a risky one. And as we do see, Shun is just going to play with his mythic item advantage. I think this is clearly the superior play than going directly for the Drake right here. And Gemini is even able to take this one without his help. So they do a direct swap into topside. And this is very awkward for Hanabi. Like, he doesn't have a tower bot. And he's up against a Renekton in a long lane like this. It's not really where you want to be. He's going to have to wait for the wave to bounce back to him.
Yeah, I mean, Hanabi will still be pretty useful when it comes down to some of these fights, right? That Call of the Forge God, really, really helpful, but he's being set far behind, not because he's had so much attention focused on him, but because he hasn't had the opportunity to make plays. Going to be a little delayed on the Mythic, as you said, versus the Gore Drinker of Rest, and with Shun up topside, he's solo for right now, so a little dangerous, but helps on the way, so not to worry.
Yep, and as we were talking about, Hanabi cannot meet this Renekton in river. He has to walk back to his own jungle for that one, and we do have a 3v3 in the top lane right now, with a decided advantage over to Shun right here. So I think both sides are going to play this very, very safe and just rely on pushing potential here. Shun has made a couple of mistakes, so I wouldn't be all that surprised if he walks up here, but most likely he should have gotten the message. Just stay in your own lane. You don't have to force things right here. Wait until Gemini comes, and you should win the 3v3 guaranteed.
Yeah, the best players learn from their mistakes. Shun hasn't lost too many games in the PCS since his debut back in week number 5, but he definitely looks like he's playing a little more cautiously, certainly looks more comfortable on this Jinx in particular, as they walk down river to join back up with the rest of the crew. At about 14 minutes on the clock right now, holding on to that 3,000 gold advantage. PSG looking for an angle to try and flank them, but they cannot find too much.
PSG is in a bit of an awkward spot. Sure, they can continue to scale up and just try to play the 5v5 game. They will have the superior front line with the Ornn. But at the meantime, I do feel like that game plan is going to take a while, because they so far...
Risky.
are lacking a lot of damage. The LeBlanc Lee Sin, as I'll be honest, completely fell flat on its face. Nothing has been working out.
Yeah, Juhan got that one play like really gifted to him by Koala, but since then they haven't really been able to do a whole lot. I think they're going to rely a lot on Unified in this late game, and CFO just have so many tools to work with, right? You know, as long as they don't make too many mistakes like we saw last time around, they have a Drake stack building. It is going to be Ocean Soul this game, and with the Ocean Rift too, they have a lot more brush to play with to try and bait PSG into some of these fights.
Typically, Ocean is a little bit better, I think, for the side that has... I think this is a visual bug. Yeah, it's a bit of a visual bug right there. But overall, Ocean Drake is a little bit better for the side with the LeBlancs. In my book, it does give her a lot more angles to attack from outside of vision. But in the meantime, in a 5v5 setting, especially when you're CFO with such a kitey composition, it's so good for you as well.
Shun. He tried for it. Oh, Unified pops the heal. This is going to open up tower damage. Unified's walking away in the 1v1. Not a lot he can do about this because it's just such a massive advantage on kills. Also, the boots versus absolutely nothing. Unified's walking barefoot in this top lane.
Yeah, and that was such a great find as well. CFO managed to place a lot of wards in this backside of the red pit. They're able to catch out the supporting member rotation, and Shin just straight up takes the 1v1 once he sees that. No respect given to Unify, the veteran here. That's exactly what you need to do to win.
This is why I'm calling him this year's doggo, man. He's just like, hey, I can take on anybody. He is not afraid of nameplates. And now CFO are going to be going for this Herald fight. PSG don't really have an angle to get in, so it's going to be smashed down. Gemini picks it up without too much trouble. They can leave Rest on this side lane for right now, and we are seeing a little bit of a flip from last game. CFO are the ones that are stiff-arming PSG.
Yeah, they do have a very decided advantage here, and a very clear objective. The next one is going to be just the mid lane drop into the Drake play. So PSG know that's coming. CFO know that's what they're going to do. And the only question is, how do PSG actually try to defend this? They need to find some scenarios where Bei can do meaningful damage to Shin before it comes down to an all-out brawl. So we have to pay very close attention to where these vision blind spots are going to be. If we're looking at the map right now, PSG do have that pink on the right side of their river. That's kind of their anchorage point. So we're going to have to watch if Bei can find some poke over the wall in this spot, just distort back. And you know the play CFO is going to do. They're just going to drop Herald and turn into the Ocean Drake.
Okay, Mission, he does get slowed. But that's not going to be enough of an angle for the engage. Bei tries to find that poke, does manage to find a little onto Gemini, but again, it's so hard to engage into a Victor. This is dangerous right now. They brought all 5 members. The Renekton's coming up river as well. And that's going to be Herald pop. Here's the play. Big defense here for PSG. Can they stop it?
Yeah, they're missing one major engage tool, so CFO are actually feeling pretty confident to just straight up take down this tower, put a lot of damage on these members, and they do have Storebringer to just completely deactivate the tower as well. So very aggressive play from CFO here, but well warranted given the expense of resources from PSG. And PSG know they can't fight this. There's a double choke that CFO are going to be holding. There's zero chance that they're going to be walking through this before the Drake goes down. And I like this play from them. At least they flip directly towards the offside of the map and try to find some more of that vision advantage we were talking about.
Yeah, see what you can get here. As LeBlanc has been starved for kills, but at least Bei can try to shepherd these minions in. Objective bounties are going to start coming into play, right? You do have an opportunity to at least get a little more gold back. And oh, the cheeky teleport here for Rest. He's not going to let Bei get any damage on.
I like that demoralizing play as well.
Yeah.
He's also incredibly safe doing this one. There's no chance that Juhan and Bei are even going to be close to be killing him over the Dominus. So I think Rest is completely safe in doing this one. That being said, it looks like Bei and Juhan might still be trying for this. I kind of feel like that's a wasted effort, but let's see if they get anything out of it.
Nah, end up backing away. Rest playing, despite the fact that he teleports right into a lane, not necessarily knowing who's in his own jungle. I mean, Rest is feeling pretty confident, having a much better game than last time around. We're seeing a similar gold graph, but in the opposite favor. With a 4,000 and some change lead here for CFO as we get closer to cresting that 20-minute mark. 3 dragons stack on. It'll be about 3.5 minutes before the next Ocean comes up, and that is Soul Point for Flying Oyster if they want to take it.
Yeah, I think PSG at this point, they're really looking for the 2-item spike coming in from Bei. That's when they're going to still have kill threat over Xun, and before Xun can get some of his more defensive items like the GA. So I think that's the point where PSG are going to really try to attempt a comeback. But at this point, you can tell how far Bei is behind. It's 20 minutes into the game, and he's nowhere close to getting his second item right here. Not even a component done at this point. So I expect it to be a very, very chill couple of minutes. And honestly, the best PSG can hope for is a steal on the Ocean Drake. I don't even think they can do a straight up 5v5 here.
Yeah, Juhan, I mean, he's shown some serious propensity on this Lee Sin. He could potentially get in and around, but he's also going to have to walk up from red side, right? Unless he wants to go for the long wraparound. And CFO, controlling, this other side of the pit there. As long as they keep the vision down, I feel like this is going to be pretty easy for them to take. And PSG, they need to find an answer. They just don't really have a lot of opportunities right now. They're getting squeezed out.
And I do want to mention, Hanabi's actually going to fall down quite easily in these fights. If you look at Shun's build, he's gone for Lord Dominic's Regard second, and he also has PTA in the front line. So that means he gets the 12% exposure attack damage through. He has the armor shred. Hanabi is really not that tanky. He has pure armor items against this build, and that's a lot of just straight up value that Shun is going to be getting here. So again, I just feel like PSG in the next 2 minutes, I don't see a decisive win for them. I just think it's down to, okay, Juhan, you're going to be on a solo mission. Let's see what you can do on the Lee Sin. We've seen some pretty crazy steals this split already. Let's see if you can stop this Ocean Soul from going over.
It's a narrow window. It's always possible, though. Still some time before that goes, as both teams just kind of staring each other down from across the way. PSG looking for an angle, looking for a chance to at least land a little bit of chip damage onto either Gemini or Mission or Shun if they can, but really well played by CFO to not really present too much of a target here. And that's the hook. Koala's going to open up the hostilities here onto Hanabi. Forced to flash away. Gravity field not going to affect him, but it doesn't really matter too much because the damage is already done. And Bei's just going to try to look to find something back. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Hanabi, at this point, not tanky at all. You could tell Mission just chunked about a quarter of its HP away. Shun had no problem shredding through his armor right there either. So things are looking pretty dire for PSG. Once again, they're setting up their trap in this exact same location. And Mission...
Okay. That's going to be Kaiwing. They want to try it here. Mission does flash out. The Call to Forge God doesn't really do enough, as they have a numbers disadvantage. They can't really turn the fight, but that's so many tools burned for PSG. CFO pretty much have free range now, and they only burn Mission's flash.
I wonder if Mission walked through that deliberately. He already had the Zhonya's complete, so he could afford giving up kind of a Zhonya's. That's a 90-second cooldown.
Are you saying Mission is playing 5D chess here?
I'm just saying, I refuse to believe that CFO would get caught out in the same game twice in the exact same position with vision advantage. That's kind of my logic behind that. I mean, that has to be intentional.
Well, right? let's take a look at the replay. Zoom, enhance, let's go. Kaiwing goes in. I don't know, man. Mission could have big-brained it.
Oh, that was such a good play there. Coming in from Shun, he actually stops the Call of Forge God going in just with the Flame Chauncer. I'm totally sorry if you actually pointed that out already.
No. That was actually massive. I missed it on the first play. That was really cool. But this is going to be the Dragon fight. It is a 5v5 with Bei trying to flank, but CFO are going to open up here. Juhan would try for the steal. They know this is happening, but this is going very quickly. Here comes Bei to the side. Flame Chopper's on. They do manage to find a little bit here. Bei gets deleted in the fight, and the Dragon is all but forgotten. The big stat stick of Renekton is just making PSG's life hell, and they delete everybody but Juhan, going right back onto the Drake, and it's going to be Baron.
4-0-1 for Shun right here. Ocean Soul has to be contested here from PSG, but they just can't get over the gravity field. Only Leona and Bei go in on the first salvo. They're easy pickings for how fed Shun and his build actually is. They take down those two champions, and on the flip side, you saw Gemini and Rest staying on top of Unify at the start of the fight. Leona has already gone in. There's no crowd control left anymore, and now Agent Juhan has to make the most impossible steal of his life work. He's not even going to try.
He's out of time. He would have, if he'd have been able to get in there, there was always the possibility, but man, everything is coming up. CFO, this fight again, Bei tries for the flank, but what a brilliant turn by Flying Oyster.
It's so hard for him to make this work. Gemini does have the instant crowd control right next to Shun as well. They don't find the initial damage onto anyone, really. The Distort doesn't land, Chain doesn't land. They get the Everfrost, but that's about it. And just look at the front line from Rest and Gemini. They stand right from Unified because they know, hey, Leona has no cooldowns. Bay is already in. Ornn is already committed fully. Let's just kill this Unified. No damage left on the rest of the composition. And this is, I think PSG showing a little bit of weakness right here. They played it a little bit safe with the Lee Sin and LeBlanc instead of going in deeper to build out a full early game composition. And CFO actually end up winning on both sides of that trade.
Yeah, big gold advantage for them. And with the Baron on everybody, they didn't lose a single member in that Dragon fight. Just honestly, brilliant positioning. I mean, I really like what Shun was doing, using the extra brush advantage to try and not give Bay an easy opening, the instant turn, the collapse. I mean, in these 5v5s, despite the fact that PSG are the team more noted for the coordination, CFO in actual 5v5 fights, when they choose them, they look good.
Yeah, this is the problem. I think it's just the fact that the LeBlanc isn't fed. There's not enough of a threat vector here. Unified also died twice in lane, making it very difficult for him to have the same normal impact that he usually would here. So, you know, CFO have so many ways to take this, and again, I want to mention the Volibear. I don't think PSG can actually defend this. They're just kind of fronting at this point, and indeed, they just run off. The most important thing here is to check on Bay's items. I think he has to get those 2 items done before he's an actual threat. And they have to follow up rather quickly because the Ocean Soul is already there for Shun. They can heal up for most of the poke damage.
And they're running out of base. I mean, Bay, he just gets completely chunked by Mission on the back half of that one. He doesn't even have his flash right now. Still playing very confidently as the rocket does go flying. Hits the wrong LeBlanc, unfortunately, but they are not stopping here. Looking to finish the game quickly. It might give an opportunity for the flank. Here's Juhan on the side. The hero play, the hero moment. It would have to happen now.
Let's see if he can find
Or it's going to happen never.
The Dragon's Rage is definitely there. They have the Call of the Forge God, but they have to pull the trigger. They're losing their entire base. Here we go.
Okay, Bay gets down. He gets the 2-man route. They're going to land onto Mission. That's going to be the Leona. Into the stasis he goes, and Juhan just gets deleted. And Shun, after the fact, Call of the Forge God is going to land, but it doesn't matter. The Jinx is running wild as the rest of PSG collapse into nothingness. The quadra kill, and that's going to be it. GG for the ace. 27.5 minutes, CFO right back on the board. And Clement, we got a series.
What a beautiful face roll coming in from CFO here. Now, I will say this game, a lot of things happened that probably you will never see happen again. Unified getting dunked on, Kaiwing getting dunked on in lane. I don't think I've seen, you know, throughout this entire split, a lane go so poorly for PSG. There was definitely a lot of outplay, if I will, from Koala, just catching them out of surprise, and they were able to ride high off of taking Kaiwing and PSG out of the